So if we're ready to start, we're going to start coming down onto our backs with our 2 blocks. Okay. So we're going to start off in a nice passive back bend, just to gently start opening up. So it's totally up to you how high you want to take your blocks. So you can have your blocks kind of at a lower height, so one block being on its flattest and the other block is for your head, can be a little bit higher. Or if you want to start a little bit higher, you can have your block for your back kind of at its medium height, and you might want your head a little bit higher. For me, that feels more comfortable. So play with it for a little bit and see how it goes. You want your back that's coming onto the block kind of supporting your ribs. So from your lower ribs, between your shoulder blades, and then just adjust accordingly. You might want it a little bit higher up than that so that you feel supported. And then it's always a bit of a fiddle to get the block nice and straight underneath your head. If that feels too strong, go a little bit lower. Take a few moments just to settle in. And of course, if you don't have blocks, you can lie over a bolster doing the exact same thing, or a rolled yoga mat or a pillow, just to feel a little bit of opening in the chest. Once you're here, you can bring your legs into Sukhasana, so easy cross-legged pose, just to feel a little bit of opening into the hips. Take a few moments to settle, make sure that your neck feels comfortable and your head isn't dropping back too far. Make sure the block is feeling supportive, that it's helping to lift your chest. Make sure your lower back feels comfortable, so to ease for the lower back here, you shuffle your hips away from the blocks, and that helps with the lower back. Once you've settled, you can bring your arms into a cactus-like position. So with your arms bent, elbows coming in line with your shoulders. And with your breath, you can inhale, move the hands up gently, and exhale, draw the elbows down. So taking a few deep breaths here as you move with your arms, feeling that nice stretch across the chest. Moving into a little back bend, moving into the shapes we'll be using today. We'll be here for a little while, so please make sure that you're comfortable. If it's too strong, just come to lying flat on your back. A few more breaths like this, moving through your cactus arms, almost like you're drawing little bent arm snow angels. Slowly starting to open and warm up those shoulders. Going nice and slow. Good. And when you're ready, maybe just want to relax your arms and your shoulders for a moment, especially if that feels quite intense. Next, we'll be holding our elbows above the head. So taking palm to elbow grip, and then allowing the arms to rest back over the blocks. Working a little bit with gravity here to feel that opening in the shoulders as we start to move into that shoulder flexion position, which is very helpful for big back bends like we'll be doing today. Don't force anything, just see if you can relax into it. And you might find the wider your elbows are, the further your arms go back. Where the closer your elbows are, the tighter and more restrictive it feels. So maybe you just want to feel where that feels good for your shoulders and arms. Change the grip of your hands. So if right arm is on top, swap it to the left. If you want to move a little bit within it, please feel free to, or just breathe and relax into the shoulders and arms. Elbows can be wider or more narrow, both is fine, just working with whatever shoulders you have. And then you can slowly release and just roll it out. Last version here, and it depends kind of on the height of your blocks how this might feel, but what you're going to try and do is bring your hands together in a prayer-like position overhead. I'm going to try to take my hands behind my neck because I've got a little bit of space with the higher block. So you're trying to have your elbows moving towards in line with your ears, and your hands are behind your head or your neck in a prayer-like position with palms together. And this might help you feel a little bit more stretch into your triceps. Again, play with elbows close to your ears, elbows wide out to the sides. Start to feel that opening into shoulder flexion. So we'll be having our hands in this like position later on when we move back into our King Pigeon pose. So just starting to feel that opening. All right, let's gently release and come off our blocks for now. So placing hands to your sides or elbows on the floor, gently press yourself back up. Come to seated, just to pop your blocks off to the side. Keep them handy, we're going to use them a little later on. And then recline back onto your back. You want to just move a little from side to side, feel free to. It's very chilly, so if you need to just add in some extra movement today, please feel free to. From here, we'll be coming into a figure 4 stretch. So with the right ankle crossed over the left, take hold of the back of the left thigh or shin, and just slowly start to feel that external rotation in the right leg, like we'll be feeling in our pigeon later on. Just slowly begin to open up the hips. Make sure your neck and shoulders are still relaxed on the mat. Then we'll do a twisted figure 4. So I like to pop my left toes towards the right side of my mat because we're going to be holding the bottom foot. And then twisting the knees towards the left side so that the right sole of foot finds the ground next to you. Now here you can continue to press your right knee up to the ceiling if that feels good, or just let it relax. Right hand is going to reach down to see if you can find your left foot. So you'll bring your left knee towards the middle of the mat to feel a very mild quad stretch for your left leg. Or maybe not so mild. Take a few breaths here to settle in. Feel the shoulders releasing back to the mat. Right knee opening if that feels good. And maybe turning your gaze towards the right. Slowly release, begin to come back through the center and extending legs up and swapping to the other side. So left ankle crosses over right thigh for your figure 4. Moving into that external rotation for the front leg. Allow for a little bit of movement if you need, whatever your body needs this morning. Neck and shoulders are still relaxed, back onto the mat. And then coming into our twisted figure 4, so maybe you want to twist and ground the foot first, And then maybe slowly start to work towards finding your right foot with your left hand. Drawing your right knee more towards the middle of the mat to feel a little quad stretch. So your ankle may release off your bottom thigh, which is cool. Left knee can press up to the ceiling or stay relaxed, whatever feels best in your body this morning. Shoulders are easy, and maybe you want to turn your gaze towards the left. Taking a few deep breaths here. Beautiful. Slowly we release, extend the legs, and maybe for a moment just hugging knees to chest and just massaging the back into the mat. Warming up back muscles. When you're ready, we'll roll up to child's pose. So rolling to your side or rolling over feet and toes, coming to child's pose. Bring big toes together and knees apart so that you can lie your chest through your thighs and create a little bit more length in your spine in your child's pose. Really think of reaching your arms forwards to feel that length in the sides of your body. So we'll see how far you can reach for the top of the mat. From here, begin to walk your hands over to the right side until you can feel a stretch down the left side of your body. So a little bit of a lateral stretch here to help warm up the back. I like to think about taking deep breaths into the left side of the ribs, just really opening up and expanding and deepening the breath. And then moving back past the center, all the way over to the left side, finding that nice lateral stretch down the right side of your body and breathing into the right ribs. And slowly, as we ease back to the center, you can take hold of your blocks or your pillow or a little bit of support. From here, we'll bring our elbows onto the blocks in child's pose. So it's a little bit of a fiddle just to get your correct distance. Elbows come onto the block, allow a little bit of space for your head to drop through the blocks. And then once again, we're going to bring palms together. Wiggle the elbows forwards as much as you can so we're feeling that stretch into the triceps, working into shoulders. And then slowly bending and stretching the arms. Just allowing a little bit of movement there. As you take your hands towards the back of the head and neck. And then press forwards with the fingertips. Here you can also think of pressing your hands together so you're building a little bit of warmth and heat into those arms. Only if that's comfortable for you. So again, if your shoulders feel quite tight, take your elbows a little bit wider and create a little bit more space in your shoulders. If your shoulders are very flexy, it might be easy for you to keep your arms parallel. So just explore that. And then holding in that stretch, think of wiggling your elbows forwards a little bit more to deepen that stretch. Keep your right arm where it is, and maybe you want to take your left hand behind you, binding the hands like Kapotasana arms. And then releasing the head back down. Make sure to roll your left shoulder away from the mat. So still feeling a little opening into that pec. And then releasing and changing arms, bringing the left elbow forwards again, shoulder flexion, and then taking the right arm back, shoulder extension. We'll be moving through a few mermaid versions, so just kind of playing with these shapes as well. Keep rolling your right shoulder away from the mat. Try not to drop in through that shoulder, but a little bit of external rotation in that arm. And slowly release back to center. Maybe just want to shake that out if that's really strong on your shoulders. Please feel free to release. From here, we're going to do a little puppy pose with hands on blocks. So again, we're using the blocks to just help us with a little bit more space and really to work into that big range of movement with the shoulders, if possible. So either your hands are quite close, arms parallel, or if you felt that having your elbows a little bit wider in that was really helpful, then feel free to take that kind of wide scaption position as opposed to always perfectly parallel. Work with what your shoulders feel best in. So with hands on blocks, wiggle your knees back or your blocks more forward and allow your chest to drop down towards the ground. Trying to keep the hips over the knees as much as possible. And then you feel your chest releasing to the ground. Make sure your neck doesn't feel like it's scrunching too much. It might not feel too good for you. Try and relax the back of the neck. So forehead to the ground. And keep reaching forwards with those arms. If it feels too strong on blocks, please feel free to take your blocks out if it's feeling horrible. If you want a little bit more, of course, you can lift your chin and allow a little bit more space for your chest to drop down. And then slowly easing out of that pose. Good. So just shaking it out, releasing lots of big shoulder openers this morning, because it doesn't always help to do tons of back bends before big back bends. It just makes your back tired. But what we can do is work more through the shoulders and the hips and other bits of our body to get that opening. So coming onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Move through rounds of cat-cow, just allowing some movement through the spine now. Movement through your shoulders. Do whatever feels good, whatever your body needs this morning. Maybe you want to emphasize a little bit more into that cow to feel your upper back working a little bit more. It's always very easy to bend into our lower back, but can you think of pressing your chest forwards more and feeling like your spine is almost dipping a little bit between your shoulder blades? Think of your upper back more than your lower back. Can you access more through the upper spine rather than just overusing the lower back? If you want to rock forwards and back and just stretch out your back muscles, feel free to. Or maybe just a few wags from side to side with the hips, or full circles, whatever you need here from your cat-cow. Good. Beautiful. And then coming back to a neutral position, we'll extend your right leg straight back behind you. And because we want to really focus on that back leg moving into extension today, allow the hips to open a little bit and reach that right leg up nice and high. See if you can keep your weight centered through both hands. And then bending the right knee, draw your heel towards its own sit bone. And then away. Maybe not quite towards its own sit bone. It might be going a little bit towards the left bum. That's also fine. And then reaching away. Good. Drawing heel to bum. Lift the thigh up nice and high. Feel the work through the back of that leg. Look forwards, lean forwards. Baby little chaturanga with a scorpion tail. Good. Drawing toes in towards the head. Press back up. Knee to nose. Step forwards. Low lunge. Okay. Settle into your low lunge for a bit, yeah? We really want to open up through the top of that left hip flexor and thigh. I like to be on my fingertips and lift the chest, but whatever feels good for you. And if you need to take a deeper lunge where your knee goes way past your ankle, go for it. Just feel what helps you to get into the top of that left hip. Good. What can also feel nice is reaching your left arm up and taking a nice lateral stretch towards the right. And feel that stretch running up from the top of the hip all the way over. Gently release back. Now ground your left hand and reach your right arm up. Slide your left thigh well back, so when you bend your left knee now, you're resting more on the top of the thigh and trying not to be right on that kneecap. So you can reach back for your left foot, maybe taking hold of your foot. Lean the head back and open the chest. Gently starting to draw heel to bum, but just going slow. If you want to allow for a little bit of movement here, kicking the foot back and drawing heel in, feel free to. Slowly release. Ground your hands a little bit closer towards you. We'll be coming back to our all fours as you kick your right leg back. Bend the right knee. This time reach left hand for your right foot. Push off your right hand as you kick your foot into your hand. Open the chest and reach your toes up. See how high you can lift through the thigh. And then slowly releasing back onto all fours. Good. Let's feel that on the left. So kicking your left leg straight back. Allow that leg to really lift. Even weight through both hands. Bending the left knees. You draw heel towards the sit bones. And pressing back. And exhale, drawing heel in, nice and close. And pressing back. Good. Keep strong through those arms. One more time, heel to bum. Now really lift the thigh. Lift the thigh. Gaze forwards. Little chaturanga with a scorpion tail. Try not to drop too much in the shoulders. Draw your heel in. Press back up. Knee to nose, step forwards, low lunge. Settling in here for a few breaths. Finding that stretch into the right hip flexor. Coming into a nice deep low lunge. Left hand to the side, reach right arm up and over. Keep that deep lunge so you feel that stretch almost running from the hip up into your tummy. And then grounding through the right hand, reach left arm up. Slowly start to bend the back knee, so make sure you're really sliding back through that back thigh to rest on the thighs. You catch hold of the foot. Lean the head back, open the chest. Hold and breathe, or just slowly, gently allow for some movement there to ease into those quads. Slowly releasing. Ground the hands a little closer as you extend left leg straight back. Bend left knee, reach right hand back for the left foot. Once you've got hold of your foot, push off your left hand, open the chest as you lean the head back slightly and kick your toes up towards the ceiling. And slowly releasing back to all fours. From here, stepping into plank, building a little bit of heat and strength throughout plank pose. Press through those hands, gaze forwards slightly. And a nice slow, strong push into your downward facing dog. If this is the first down dog of the day, feel free to pedal up feet or do whatever feels good. Moving to the top of the mat, option to walk, step, or jump to hands. Inhale to halfway lift, and in your halfway lift, exaggerate that lift in the chest. A little sink into the upper back, try and access those upper back muscles. And forward fold, head down, soften the neck. Rising up to standing, Kapotasana, high mountain. Reach up through the sides of the body. See how much you can reach upwards. And if it feels good, allow for a little back bend, more from lifting in the chest than just sinking into the lower back. Reach up and back. And relax arms to your sides. Take a moment to ground and come back to your breath. And we flow, inhale, arms up, Kapotasana. Dropping the right arm to the side, take a lateral stretch towards the right. Keeping hips and shoulders pointing mostly to the front. Inhale, arms up. Dropping the left arm to your side, lateral stretch over towards the left. Inhale, arms up, reach up and back, little back bend, more from the upper back. And slow forward fold all the way down. Inhaling to halfway lift, exaggerating that lift in the chest and broadening across the collarbones. Hands come to the mat, moving back into plank. So here, option to take kneeling chaturanga or full chaturanga. Whatever you're up for this morning, slowly lower down. And flowing either to your cobra or upward facing dog. Meeting back in down dog. And inhaling the right leg up for three-legged dog. Allow the hips to open a little bit, exaggerate that lift in the back leg. Bend the right knee and draw the heel this time towards the left sit bone. And just here, we'll just feel that opening in the hip. We'll go a little further later on, don't worry. Lift the knee, open the thigh. And then stepping forwards into our low lunge. Ground your back knee, arms up for Anjaneyasana. Good. So here in these little back bends, which are a great way to prep for where we're heading, really think about lifting the ribs away from the hips. Even if you want to feel that with your hands, because it's very easy for us to sink into our lower backs, which is not going to help us later on. What we really want to do is create length through the waist. See how much you can lengthen through your lower back. Reach up and a little bit more through your upper back. So we get a much more even arch through the spine and don't rely on your lower back. So feel that reach up. Inhale. Exhale, arms to cactus. Lift your chest, little back bend. Inhale, arms up, reach out, keep that length. Then hands to prayer, hands behind the back of the head like we did earlier, and reach those elbows up and back. Even if your back of hand support your head a little here. And reach up. Then circling the hands behind you, interlace fingers, and inhale, lift chest. Gaze up, little back bend. Beautiful. Arms up, feel that length and reach. Hands to the mat, sweep right leg up, three-legged dog. Back to downward facing dog. Over to the left leg rises, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, heel towards right sit bone, and just start to feel that opening in the hip. How high can you lift your thigh? Good. Stepping forwards, low lunge, Anjali-asana, back knee grounds. And then breathing the arms up. So here, once again, feel the difference between sinking through your back and lifting and rising through the ribs. That's it. Beautiful. Reach up through the fingertips, lengthen through the sides of the body, breathe in. Exhale to cactus arms. Inhale, arms up. Hands through prayer, hands back, little back bend, take those elbows back. Even if your elbows are wide, go for it. And reach up. Circling the arms behind you, interlace fingers, inhale, lift chest. Draw the wrists away from the hips. Arms sweep up, inhale. And grounding it back. Left leg rises, three-legged dog. Back into downward facing dog. Come back to your breath. Gazing to the top of the mat, option to walk, step, or jump to hands. Inhale to halfway lift. Press the chest forwards. How much can you access your upper back? And forward fold, head down. Rising to standing. Again, feel that length in the sides of the body as you reach up. And if it feels good, a little back bend. Arms relax to your sides. Coming back to your mountain pose, grounding into Tadasana. From here, we bend the knees and move through Kapotasana. Bending the knees, squeeze thighs together, sit back into chair pose. Circling the arms behind you, interlace fingers, and inhale, little back bend in your chair. Drawing the wrists away from the hips, lifting the chest. Breathe in, keeping the fingers interlaced, slowly forward fold, head down. Relax your neck here as you allow your arms to gently tip over. And then release the arms to inhale, halfway lift. Pressing the chest forwards. Hands ground, walk, step, or jump back plank. And move through a little chaturanga flow if that's comfortable for you. Move slowly through chaturanga, kneeling or full. Sweeping to cobra or upward facing dog. Moving back into down dog, good. From downward dog, right leg sweeps up, three-legged dog. Bending the right knee, heel towards left bum. See how much you can open the hip. So option to stay here or flip your dog into a little wild thing. And pressing hips and shoulders up. Sweeping top arm overhead. And gently bring it back to three-legged dog, right leg up. Stepping forwards for high lunge. And inhale, arms up. So again, we're feeling that lift through the sides of the body. How high can you lift up? Breathing in. Exhale with a little cactus, arms back bend. Inhale, arms up. Hands through prayer, bend the elbows, squeeze elbows back. And arms up, inhale. Circling the arms behind you, interlace fingers. Inhale, lift chest, little back bend. Then ground the back heel and fold forwards for your humble warrior pose. Bringing the right shoulder to the inside of the right knee, taking arms up overhead, relax the neck. Release hands down, come back to a low lunge. Ground hands, feet, right leg up. Back to downward facing dog. Sweeping left leg up for three-legged dog. Bending the left knee. Opening up through the hip. Option to stay here or flip your dog. And press hips and shoulders up. Beautiful. Bringing it back to three-legged dog. Left leg sweeps up. Inhale. Stepping forwards for high lunge. When you're ready, inhale, arms up. Reach up. Exhale, cactus arms with a little back bend. Inhale, arms up. Hands meet together. Bend the elbows. Reach up and back. And arms up. Circling arms behind you, interlace fingers. Inhale, lift chest, little back bend. Exhale to fold, humble warrior. Taking the arms up, relaxing the neck. Soften your shoulders here, so try not to force those shoulders, just relax into them. Ground the hands, turn back into the ball of the back foot as you sweep left leg up. Coming back to your down dog. Nice. Walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Once again, press your chest forwards, work into the upper back. Forward fold, head down. Rising to standing, Hastasana. Reaching up and back. And arms down, release. Tadasana, mountain pose. Coming back to your breath. Taking a moment to ground. Eyes open, once again moving through Utkatasana, so bending the knees, sweep hands from the ground, sit back into chair. Bring hands through heart center, twist to the right, hook left elbow to right outer thigh, Parivrita Utkatasana, twisted chair. Like we did on Wednesday, weight on the right foot, step left foot back. Twisted high lunge. Beautiful. Open to the side of the mat, reach up, and then take side angle pose to the left. So left foot turns out, turning towards the back of the mat for side angle pose. Good, left hand is down, bending through the left knee, twist and open the chest for that lovely side stretch. Then from here, reversing warrior, with Gomukhasana arms. So bending the left arm, sweep right hand back. See if you want to bind the hands or just reach them towards one another. Reach back and feel that lovely stretch to the left side of the body. Reach your elbow back to stretch triceps. Lift chest. Good. And then we'll windmill our arms to the back of the mat and step back to down dog. Good, take a few breaths here. So here, option to flow through a little vinyasa, chaturanga up dog. Or option to do it on one leg when the right leg is up. We can either meet you here, or you're flowing through a one-legged little chaturanga, up dog, down dog. I'll leave that up to you. We'll meet with the right leg up in three-legged dog. Stepping right foot forwards between the hands. Turn to the side of the mat, so pointing the other way, coming to goddess pose. Elbows are bent, chest is lifted, so a little back bend here in your cactus. Inhale, straighten arms and legs, reach up. Exhale, goddess, cactus, arms with a back bend. 2 more times, inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus, back bend. Press those thighs up to the sides, 1 more time. Exhale. Inhale to straighten, turning back to the front of the mat. Right foot hooks over left thigh, coming to figure 4 stretch. Sit low. Get that nice opening through the right hip. Now, option to stay here, or we're going to move into our dancer's pose. In your dancer, think of staying more upright. So we're now going to reach forwards. We take hold of the right foot with the right hand. Kick foot into hand. And today I want you to think of maybe moving into a little mermaid within your dancer's pose. If that's not happening, think more about just being more upright in your dances rather than charging forwards. Reach up and back, up and back. Yes. And then slowly release. Come back to standing. Take a moment to ground in Tadasana. Beautiful. Having a little fun with shapes there. Nice. So when you're ready, we'll feel that on the other side. So from Utkatasana, we bend the knees, chair pose. So back into the heels. Hands through heart center, twisted chair towards the left. Leading the head back to open the chest. Weight is on your left foot this time. As you step your right foot back, coming into a twisted high lunge. Good. Opening to the side of the mat, turning to your right foot for side angle pose. So right knee bends. Right hand to the inside of the foot, sweeping left arm overhead. Side angle pose. So that lovely side stretch through the body. We reverse our warrior with Gomukhasana arms. So reaching back for the bind. If that doesn't feel good, just make it about the top arm and that tricep. Lunge deep, reach up and back, going stretching back with your right elbow. Nice. Windmilling arms to the back of the mat. Step back, down dog. Take a breath here. We're going all around our mat this morning. So option here, plank chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Or three-legged dog, hang out here. Or if you're feeling a little crazy this morning, one-legged chaturanga, one-legged up dog, one-legged down dog, and we'll all meet back here. Stepping forwards, between the hands, turn to the side of the mat, come into your goddess pose. We straighten arms and legs and reach up. And then goddess with cactus arms with the back bend. Lift your chest. Press your thighs wide up to the side. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, goddess. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, bend arms, little back bend. Lift your chest. Inhale to straighten. Now we're turning back to the front of the mat. Left ankle crosses over right thigh. Sit down into your figure 4. Feel that opening through the front hip. Good. Stay here. Or option to move into dances. Staying more upright in our dances today. So very different pose to when we reach forwards. And then option if you want to hook your elbow into your left foot. Keep lifting the thigh, and maybe you bind your hands like we've been doing a lot today. Kicking the thigh up. Playing with shapes. We'll do this on the mat next. And releasing. When you're ready, back into Tadasana. Take a moment to breathe and ground. Arms up, Kapotasana, reach up and back, little back bend. Slow forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, press chest forwards. Hands to the mat, walk, step, jump back. Whatever you want, flow through a little vinyasa. If you wish, or meet back in down dog. Yeah, now we're nice and warmed up and ready to go. Right leg rises, three-legged dog. Take your right knee wide for pigeon. So when you come into your pigeon today, we want a nice stable base. So see if you can take your right knee a little wider than you normally do, so it's on the outside of your right wrist. Okay. Play with that because we're focusing on it as a back bend and not so much as a hip opener. From here, forward fold, head down. And walk your hands over to the right, so find a lateral stretch in your pigeon. And then over towards the left. Lateral stretch in your pigeon. Come back to center and bring the right arm parallel to the front of the mat. Don't sink in the shoulder, press out of your shoulders. You twist left arm up. Little twist in pigeon. Nice. Change side, left elbow grounds, right arm reaches up. Lean back, open the chest. Don't sink into your left shoulder. Press down and out of that shoulder. And slowly release. Press onto your hands. And now here, see if you can find a stable base. So if your right knee has gone quite wide and you've slid back enough so that you're resting more on the back of your left thigh, it makes it easier to balance here without arms. So just play with finding that base. Of course, pressing through the front shin and suctioning up through the legs a little bit also helps. And then we'll reach back to hold our left foot. You might want to draw heel in and out a few times again if those quads need a little extra stretch. If you're ready and want to go into a mermaid version, like we did standing, you're going to bring your elbow around your back foot. Again, find that stable base. This might be enough. You can keep your fingers on the floor or begin to reach right arm up. Right arm goes behind your head, so we've been prepping this shoulder and arm the whole way through today. And then again, it's all about finding that balance here on your hips. So remember how we were quite wide for splits on Monday? Think of doing that here again. You might need a little extra space. Play with the shapes, and if you are in mermaid, try not let your upper arm push your head forwards. Try and lift your chest. Lift out of the low back, lengthen through the sides of the body so you're a little bit more upright so you can get more of an upper back bend. Yes. Beautiful. All right, when you're ready, let's slowly release and stretch out through down dog. If you want a vinyasa in between, please feel free to indulge. You'll feel that on the left, so left leg rises with three-legged dog. Now remember, take that knee wide for pigeon. So your knee's almost on the edge of your mat. The wider you take that leg, the more stable you'll find in your base. Slide your right leg back, so you really ground into those hips. Forward fold. Then we'll walk hands over to the left. Find that lateral stretch. over to the right. Of course, if you feel any knee niggles, there's always the option of sitting your bum on the block if that helps for you, or also to find a stable base. So that would be your modification here. Coming up, we're going to bring left forearm parallel to the front of the mat, right arm twists open, and then changing side, right elbow parallel to the front of the mat, left arm twist open. Coming back up onto fingertips. So maybe just playing with that sensation of finding a stable base before we get too tangled up. Good, and then bending the back knee. Make sure to slide as far back as you can on that back thigh. Then lift up and out of those hips. Reach back to find your back foot. Maybe taking a few more breaths to ease into those quads. If you feel ready, you can start to move into your mermaid. So bringing the elbow around the foot. Again, lift up through the sides of the body. Even if you don't need to here, just feel it because we're going to do full version in a sec with the strap, and that is really helpful to head backwards. So moving into your mermaid version, finding stable base is very important from here. If you're still wobbling, see if you can take your left knee wider and slide back a little bit more. Roxanne's already in full version. Those flexy shoulders over there. Good. All right, when you're ready and if you're dying, please feel free to go back into downward dog. Okay. So now we're going to work a little bit with our strap, if you need it, to slowly start walking back into the full version, eventually holding big toes back there. So have your strap handy. What's quite cool in this pose is to make like a little strap sandal. So if you want, I'll just show you a little closer. You pop the strap over your whole foot. Okay, and then I'm going to bring the buckle of the strap between my big toe and second toe. See if you want, it's quite cool. It feels more stable than fighting to keep your strap on that back foot. Of course, if you don't need a strap in this, have fun, indulge, go for it. But if you're working with a strap and you really got it on, hopefully on your left foot, but if you did the right foot, all good. I sometimes like to come from downward dog. And then my strap is handy. You can pop it on here, or if you already got it popped on, we'll move into our Kapotasana. So again, take that right knee wide out to the side. Slide your left leg well back. So you want to be quite grounded in the hips, yeah? Pop your strap on, or maybe you got your strap sandal like I do. Okay, first of all, find stable base. Can you be here without your hands? Press through the bottom shin, lift through the sides of the waist, but at the same time, ground through the hips. So it's a little bit of a lift and a ground, and a lift and a ground. When you feel ready, you can take left arm up overhead if you've got your left leg back. Same arm as back foot. Okay? And then see if you can find that stable base by pushing through the front shin, but grounding through the hips. Maybe taking both arms back. Just find the stability in the pose is the main thing. The rest will come. Good. And now if you want to start the journey going back, it's all about inhale, rising up a little bit. And then exhale, actually relax backwards. If you tense your back muscles here, they're only going to restrict you. So my advice is inhale to lift, exhale, relax. You kind of have to breathe through. Inhale to lift. Create that space like we felt, rising through the sides of the body. And then it's a surrendering back is my advice. But of course, if your shoulders are flexible, it helps. And if you have a nice long back shin, your foot is a lot closer. So some of us are working with different stuff here. Inhale to lift. Exhale, relax back is your mantra. Good. Let's feel that on the other side. Yay, some of you looking amazing and happy there, yay. Not an easy pose to be happy in. Good, if you've got your strap sandal, I like to walk back, it's just control issues. Walk back from down dog, and then you can swap your little strap sandal here, and then you can walk back into downward dog. If you're a control freak like me, otherwise just pop your strap on when you're there. Left leg comes forwards for your pigeon. Find your stable base. So bend that back knee. See, can you be here without your hands? And sometimes that means you need a little block. Sometimes you need to be up a little bit higher. Sometimes your legs have to be wider, like we did in splits, that diagonal. Play with finding your base. Okay, then when you feel ready, if you're working with your strap, go for it. Circling the right arm up and back. Lift to rise. Inhale, see how high you can lift. And then exhale, relax back. Take your arms back. So if your elbows need to be a bit wider to increase your shoulder flexion, then feel that. It really does help. Your elbows don't need to be touching your ears. If they do, cool. Whatever, doesn't matter. For those that don't need a strap, maybe you want to work on reaching back and then flipping your grip. But that would be a whole nother play for another day. Today, I think most of us are working with our strap. Nice, lift up and relax back. Well done, everyone. Lift up by pushing through the front shin. And then relaxing back gently. So you can't force this one. You've got to breathe and just relax is my tip for you, but it's hard. It's really hard. The more you tense and fight, the less it works. So you just got to be content and rise and soften. Okay. If your backs are absolutely exhausted now, I get it. So you can just come to seated with your legs crossed and take a gentle twist from side to side. If you're still playing there, go for it. I know sometimes it takes a little bit longer because you have to fiddle. Good. If your back is like done now, we'll come to seated. And in Sukhasana, just gentle twist from right to left. So gentle twist, just to help release those back muscles. Very gently. Nice. Good. If you want, you can take a little gentle forward fold here in Sukhasana. If we had loads of time, I would just want to go wild because I love back bends. Now would be an awesome time to do things like full wheel and things like that as well, because we've prepped your shoulders so much in that shoulder flexion. But you better stop me now. If you want in Sukhasana, you can walk to the right and just feel a little stretch down the left side of the back. And whenever you're ready, to the left. Good. Slowly back through center and easing on up. Uncross your legs and come to lying on your back. And then with the feet the width of the mat, we'll just take some windscreen wipers from side to side. Arms wherever you want them to be. If you want them to relax now on your shoulders, arms down, or cactus. Just twist it out gently. And then when you're ready, move into hugging knees to chest or happy baby. And whatever feels good here to be still or rock it out. And if there's anything else your body needs, your teachers, you know what you like, please feel free to indulge. So later on, we will chat about the pose breakdown for this pose that we did today, and also our twists from Wednesday. I will leave you for your Shavasana, so please make sure that you're warm enough and lie here for quite a bit because that back bend we did today is quite intense. So give yourself a nice yummy Shavasana, and if your back feels like quite active after that, a bolster under the thighs feels amazing. Or legs up the wall, also super yummy and indulgent. Stay warm, settle into your Shavasana for a good 5 minutes or more, and I'll see you all back at 1 o'clock. See you then. Have an awesome day. Well done.